Hello, welcome, welcome. I could not be more excited to be here talking about the number one marketing tip, actually, a marketing secret, the number one marketing secret that I use for my business that is probably the most important thing that has helped my business grow and really thrive in the past, you know, 10 years. Maybe I probably figured it out a couple of years into it, so maybe the past 8 years. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you like I always do. Let's start here. All right, the number one marketing tip for your birth business. Let's get going. And before we get going, be a birth boss. Be a boss, be a leader, be an expert in your industry. All too often I hear about people having imposter syndrome and, being nervous when someone asks them exactly what they do or to talk more about their services. Be a boss. Don't be afraid. Show everyone that you are number one at what you do. So real quick, why me? Why are you listening to me today? Why am I even talking about this? My mother was an event planner, so I grew up listening to her connect with other people in her industry and also, prospective clients and then eventually, her actual clients. And she had such a way about her, the way that it just came so naturally to her to connect with other people. It never sounded salesy. And I was always in awe of her, connecting with other people. And I knew it was like a characteristic that she possessed that not many people did. And I definitely wanted to be like that when I grew up. And of course, years later, fast forward to college, I ended up getting a degree in hospitality management, like literally 4 years of learning how to connect with people in about 200 grand, maybe 150. I put 150 in the slideshow, but the more I think about it, all in, it was probably 200. And I really loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved obviously the fun college experience, but I loved the academic part too. And of course, I went on to become an event planner after college. And once I had my first daughter, I moved from, special events like weddings, bar mitzvahs, to corporate, which was, more planned, more, daytime stuff rather than nights or weekends. But I still felt like I was being pulled away from my family too much. And, I'm trying to keep this short and sweet and it's relevant. So I'm cutting out some details, but that's how my business got started. It was just me doing postpartum care. And then years later, I became a trainer and eventually a postpartum doula trainer with Kappa and eventually a lactation educator trainer. And the same way I love connecting with my private clients, I realized I loved connecting with my students too and other birth professionals. I was really able to share my passion with everyone. And I feel like it totally shows whether I'm, meeting someone for the first time or teaching a class or, working with a client. The feedback I always get is that, it's so genuine the way that I connect with people. And they really can tell just how much I love what I'm doing. And I also at some point realized that I wasn't putting a ton of, effort into marketing, but my business was, growing exponentially. And, I think the reason for that is because of the way that I connect with people. So obviously the number one marketing secret here is connection, 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 connection. How are we connecting? We're finding other perinatal practitioners in our areas that see a similar clientele to the ones that are in our business. If you think to yourself, what else could our potential clients benefit from? And once you make that list, you want to invite these people to coffee, or tea, in person or virtual. It's a little hard to do in-person stuff now, but we're still doing it. I'm still meeting people for coffee and sitting outside and, chatting 6 feet away or less than 6 feet with a mask on. But it's definitely not a reason to stop connecting with people. I'm doing a ton of Zoom coffees too. And, you definitely want to thank them. So a tiny side note, for that later that day, send an email or, give a quick call or a text and thank them for their time, but also paraphrase the plans that you made and what you talked about and what your next step is going to be. That's really important. who are we connecting with? Who are these practitioners in the birth community that I'm speaking of? Chiropractors. They're amazing. They see postpartum clients, prenatal clients, infants, toddlers, and they have time while they're working on these patients to talk about their pregnancy or their plans for postpartum. It's the perfect time to talk about, labor doulas, postpartum doulas, what classes they've taken prenatally, do they plan on breastfeeding? You get where I'm going with this. And it's obviously relevant conversation, but it really opens up space to have a great conversation about, other care that can be for this particular patient after they leave the chiropractor's table. So of course you want that referral to be you, right? If you've connected with that chiropractor and she's talking about all of these, amazing services that are out there, who's going to provide those services? Hopefully she talks about you and your business. Acupuncturists are the same. My acupuncturist specializes in third trimester pregnancy and postpartum. So we've struck up a relationship, sort of talking about that. She knows what I do. And also I actually needed her at around 37 and a half weeks. I was pregnant with my third daughter and she went from head down to footling breech. And I was planning a home birth. So obviously that took that right off the table, if nothing, were to change. But I saw my chiropractor to make space for the baby, and I saw the acupuncturist to move the baby. And what was great was I introduced them to each other. So now they formed a connection and a relationship that they can pair up and care for other patients, together as a team, which is wonderful because, we know in the world of pregnancy that sometimes, early in pregnancy, middle, late, whenever it is, you will need to move that baby if that baby is breech. So having a chiropractor and an acupuncturist work together is amazing. We all know the benefits of connecting with other doulas in the community. I don't have to really get into that. But childbirth educators, the same thing. They are, in front of a captive audience, maybe weekly if they're doing a series. We could pop in on one of their classes and talk about the benefits of postpartum care, labor doula care, lactation support, not necessarily talking about our own businesses, but talking about the benefits of care in general. And then of course, we're happy to answer any questions they have. And ultimately, at some point, we will point them to, the services that we provide within our own business, but definitely not when we're talking to the group. That would be later when they, seek you out to ask questions or connect. Lactation consultants, they're great. They see patients who are postpartum most of the time and having some breastfeeding issues. So, while talking about those issues, they might realize that this person may need postpartum care as well. It's not just a breastfeeding issue. It could be other things. And it's always great to refer someone to these, new parents that they know personally. OB offices, midwife offices, those are, could be an asset to your birth business. Think of how many prenatal and postpartum people they see on a daily basis. And, that could be just amazing for you. You can't really go in blind though. I think if you're going to reach out to an OB office or a midwife office that you don't know, it would be wonderful to try to have some sort of connecting point first. Like if you went with a client and you introduced yourself when you were there, I wouldn't get too much into what you do, but I would definitely take that opportunity to later either call or email and say how wonderful it was to meet them and talk more about the care that you provide, in detail. And hopefully you can continue and then strike up a relationship from that and be one of their preferred providers for, care after, they see the OB or midwife, like labor doula, postpartum doula, lactation, maybe childbirth ed classes, all sorts of stuff. There's so much available. How I connected with a really big office in Boston is I was attending a birth, and a week later, I didn't even think much of it. I didn't really talk a lot, to the OB, but a week later she emailed me and just said, how nice it was to meet me and how she thought the care that I was providing for her patient, my client, was just wonderful. And would I be interested in being a referral for her patients? Of course I would. That's just like a no-brainer. So I definitely said, absolutely, thank you so much. And, it's really important too, once you make those connections and once you become someone that they refer to keep up those relationships. I definitely drop off some baskets of goodies a couple of times a year, especially around the holidays. I have someone local who prints on cookies and brownies and all sorts of confections with an edible printer. So she prints my logo. And so they're loving the treats, but they also know that it's from me. Prenatal fitness studios, yoga studios, those are wonderful. Obviously, another place that has a captive audience of your ideal client. You could, same thing as childbirth educator, you could pop in at the end of a class and talk about the benefits of the care that you provide. Again, very generalized, not specific to your business, but of course you may have, questions later about it. You also could plan a really cool event with this studio. You could do some sort of mini classes or tiny baby fair, something that is really cool about prenatal or postpartum care. And it's beneficial for the studio because you're bringing in people from the community that may not have been familiar with the studio or didn't know there was prenatal yoga. And then it's beneficial to your business because obviously they have a captive audience of prenatal people that may need your services. So definitely both businesses benefit, the clients or patients benefit. It's totally win-win. And then why? Why are we, connecting with these practitioners? We're enhancing our clients' experience, right? We're making them feel more secure. They trust us more. They realize how much of a priority their health and well-being is to us. And, we also know how special and, vulnerable the perinatal period is. So we're helping them feel less stressed and less anxious because they have to do less. We're also giving them so much education and knowledge and really helping them, make good decisions. And, we're looking out for their best interest too. And that's obvious and it's invaluable. We're also building a network of like-minded professionals. And that's wonderful for us as a business and even, personally. Our potential is way larger, with our audience, and it gives us opportunities for really cool collaborations. If I was going to do a talk about, let's say, gassy babies, I could bring in a lactation consultant and a chiropractor. And the lactation consultant could talk about gut health. The chiropractor could talk about the physical care piece. And maybe I would go into, some soothing techniques for parents as the postpartum doula. And it really makes for a very unique and wonderful experience for the client. And it's something that they're going to talk about to other people who are pregnant or just had a baby or trying to, conceive even. Anyone who they can think of, they're going to talk about the education that you provided with them because it's unlike a lot that's in, or that's out there right now. It was very unique. And then, why is this the best way or the number one way to market your business? You want to work smart. You want to, put forth, I don't want to say the least amount of effort, but you want to put forth a little bit of effort to get a large reward. So when you're putting your marketing efforts into other professionals that already have a large perinatal audience, that tremendously benefits your business. And you're doing the same for them. So, again, all of these connections are mutually beneficial. With your one connection, you can reach so many more people, which means more time with your family, for yourself, for other things, in your life that you love doing. And then you're also creating great relationships. And it's always wonderful to have great, personal relationships within, your business, but also, just sort of the business relationship too. The story that, I love about connecting with other perinatal professionals is about 11 years ago, someone reached out to me. They were a chiropractor. They were just moving to the area and they thought they wanted to specialize in prenatal and postpartum. And, they wanted to pick my brain about, what was happening in the local birth community. We met at a Target Starbucks and then fast forward 11 years, we're good friends. Our families are friends. I see her as a chiropractor. My entire family does. She was my chiropractor through both of my, my second and third pregnancies, which I can't speak, enough good things about, because they were a 4-hour and a 2-hour labor start to finish, which I definitely attribute to her care. But also, my office now is within her larger office, and she refers a ton of clients to me, or a ton of her patients. I refer a ton of my clients to her for a variety of reasons. So it's such a mutually beneficial relationship. And, they become, amazing and reliable resources for clients. And, having this circle of practitioners gives you, you know, the ability to really comprehensively care for your clients, because you have every resource under the sun that could help them. Um, so yeah, so it's great for so many reasons. I honestly can't speak enough about why making community connections is the best way to market your business. And these are my reasons. These are my boo-boos. These are, the three main reasons why I work smart, not hard. And I try to connect with people who are going to benefit my business and keep me, you know, not spending hours marketing and not spending hours, corresponding on email or on the phone, on social media, all of those things. So I'm using my efforts for a larger reach. And I know just how fast time flies. My kids are 13, 4.5, and almost 3. And before I know it, the little one's going to be in kindergarten and my older one's going to be in college, and I'm going to bawl my eyes out. So it's like, I'm always talking about, how wonderful it's going to be to have 5, free days to be, full in on my business. But, as much as I look forward to that, I definitely do not look forward to that, because I just want to savor every moment that I have home with them. And so what's next? I'm going to pop back on so you can see my face now. So I think that I was doing a ton of talking, so I figured you could focus on the slides. Um, you know, a great place to go from here would be, what is next? What is next for you? If you thought that this was helpful, which I hope that you did, the Business for Birth Professionals course is going digital. It will be 3 days from now. You will be able to get, I think it's about 4 hours of amazing knowledge about building your business. And it's self-paced. You can do it 10 minutes a day. You can watch it in your bed at 10 o'clock at night. You don't have to be anywhere specific to enjoy it. So 3 days from today, Monday, September 14th, you will be able to purchase this course. And it's perfect for you if you need help with setting goals that help your business grow, building your brand, standing out, marketing strategies other than this one. There's a couple of more good ones in there that really work. So, stop putting forth tons of effort and money for things that are not giving you a good return on your investment. Becoming a social media pro, creating smart networking opportunities. We talked a little bit about that today. And making the most of client relations. How can we keep our clients for a longer time? What services would be beneficial to our business to add? More services equals more revenue. And they're not always services that we have to trade time for money. They can be other things we can provide to clients, like digital courses, things that we don't have to physically be there for, and trade our time for the revenue. And it's only $97. That's the best part of it. Investing, a little amount of money in yourself means investing that in your business. You want to take the best care of yourself so you can, take the best care of your business. We are our business. Most of us are only one person in business for ourselves. We may have a little team, but, really it's our personal, it's ourself, it's our space, and it translates into our business. People know us. We're a huge part of it. Our face is, the face of the business. And then the bonus of that is the first 50 people to purchase it get Create and Grow Your Facebook Group mini course for only $10. It goes perfectly with the business course. We don't talk a ton about Facebook groups in the main course, and it's really important, a really great way to grow your audience, grow your email list, get yourself out there. And it's only $10. So definitely, when you purchase the Business for Birth Professionals digital course, you want to get your hands on this mini course too. And then one more thing. I actually have it in front of me. I have an advanced copy that I was proofing. It's the Birth Boss Planner. I've been talking a ton about this. It's January to December 2021, and it has a page before each month for notes about upcoming clients. You know, we know as birth professionals how important it is to take lots of notes for what you have coming up. A weekly calendar, and it has days that are broken up hourly for all our appointments and interviews and prenatals, things like that. You will never find another calendar or another planner that has World Breastfeeding Week and World Doula Week. And it has a reminder the month before to start planning your events. Space for weekly goals, notes, to-do lists, all of the things that we need to keep our business organized and to keep it growing. Here's some pictures I took. I do not claim to be a photographer by any means. I couldn't figure out how to take a picture of the cover, so I stuck it outside my house, you know, in a tree that sort of looked pretty. So that's what it looks like. It's navy, and it's actually like a rose gold. It's not like a peach like that looks like, but the inside there's the place for the notes and your weekly planner and your monthly planner, and then your days broken up hourly. So I just wanted to show you a little preview. A few other cool things too. I wanted to show you Carrie from Hatched Traditional Midwifery Services has this really cool cup she sent me, and it says #homebirth. I connected with her on Facebook when I posted something about, you know, what are you giving to clients for gifts or other birth professionals? And I had just created this really cool coffee cup. So she showed me hers, and I said, you know, I'll send you one of mine, send me one of yours. And it was awesome. I love it. It's like my favorite cup. And if anyone else has everyone knows how much I love, you know, iced coffee. If anyone else has a really great iced coffee cup, I will send you one of mine if you send me one of yours. And I hope to have an awesome variety of vessels for my iced coffee that I can, you know, take with me and always have. I always have one when I do night webinars. I didn't have any milk in my house today, so this one has water in it right now. But I will, in my travels today, get another iced coffee, my afternoon, evening iced coffee. And then where can you go to get all these cool things? hip2heart.com. That is where everything that is awesome is for my business. And it's hip2heart.com /business-for-birth-professionals, business for birth professionals. That is also the name of the Facebook group that most of you probably watching are already in. We have about 900 members right now, which is awesome. And actually, this is on my left right now. I just had these created to go with the planner. These can be hot or iced coffee cups. It says #birthboss, which are what all of you are. You all are birth bosses. And this is great. It's 20 ounces. It holds things hot for 24 hours, or maybe cold for 24 hours, hot for 12. I can't remember, one of those. But it's really great. Like I said, anything, you know, for my iced coffee that is functional, I want to get my hands on. And then any questions, you know, you guys can always hit me up, email me, Facebook, hip2heart, Instagram, hip2heart, my website's hip2heart.com. I'm really great about correspondence, getting back to you within a timely fashion. If a day goes by and I don't get back to you, that means I just looked at it and, you know, got sidetracked, which rarely happens, but it definitely does. I think everyone, you know, has the same craziness going on right now. So usually I'm good about it. If I'm not, that just means it's a one-time thing, and email me back and say, hey, don't forget me. And I absolutely will not forget you. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was beneficial to you. And again, if you want more is available. So have a wonderful weekend and enjoy. Thank you.